Hey, what's going on? This is Chris from Full Throttle Repair Shop. Today we're going to show you how to diagnose a two-stroke engine. What we have here is a little JR50. I picked it up not running. We're going to go through how to diagnose it and get it running again. Basically, this procedure can be used on any two-stroke engine. They're all pretty much the same. When you're diagnosing any engine, you always want to check the key components first. Spark, fuel, and compression. The three easiest ones, the three main ones. They're going to cause most problems in these smaller engines. To check the spark, I like to use a small spark checker like this. You can use any one you have. You can even hold the spark plug against the block and kick it, and if it sparks, it sparks. You're looking for a good strong spark. Check the compression, you want to use a gauge like this. You can also check just by feeling it. If you can feel it trying to kick back, it's pretty much going to run. Now I have the spark plug tester hooked up in line with the spark plug. When you're testing these, you don't want to hold on to it because you can get shocked by it, and it gives you a little bit of a zap. I'm going to cut the light so you can see it better. It should lit up just like that, like a Christmas tree light. Make sure you're checking the spark. You have all your kill switches on, your keys on. It has to be in a run position or it won't spark at all. Now we know that we have spark in the engine. What we need to do is check the compression of it. I already checked it by hand. It feels good enough. Since I already have the tester out, we'll go ahead and do a compression test on the engine to see exactly what it is. Basically, you find the one that matches your spark plug on the end, screw it into the hole, what do we got? Was that around 130? You can't really overkick them. It'll only go as high as it can go. So right there we know we have good compression. We have good spark. The next thing we're going to check is the fuel. So now that we know that we have the compression and the spark in the engine, the next step is to check the fuel. The easiest way to do that is to take in a carb cleaner, even some gas in a squirt bottle, spray it in the carburetor, kick it over a couple times. If you hear it putt wanting to fire off, you know it's a fuel issue. I just tried it with this engine and I had no results with it, but I could smell a horrible rotten fuel smell. So basically what happened is this fuel is so bad in here, it's just falling out of the spark plug immediately. Once the gas gets so old, it typically won't even burn anymore. So it's flooding the engine out immediately. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drain this gas out of here, put some fresh gas in here, and do a carb cleaning on it. Then go from there. So now I removed the carburetor. You can see all this gas coming out here is absolutely horrible. So I'm going to crack it open and see what it looks like inside. It's pretty dirty. Just basically a couple screws that hold this bowl on here. Crack it open. You can see inside here, you can see that. It's all filled with a horrible jelly looking substance. No good. For the actual carb itself, you can see everything's complete. I have an ultrasonic cleaner, so I'm going to throw it in there, give it a good bath, look brand new when it comes back out. Well, we got the carb back out of the cleaner. Looks really good. The inside's a little chalky, but it'll work. Clean the jets out. These little holes here are very important. Make sure you clean those out. You can use a small wire brush. Clean it off really good. Rip a bristle out of the brush and try to run it through these holes. Make sure your gasket's still good. Don't ever tighten these, they strip out very easy. A lot of the times if someone's done this before, you might have to take these out with a pair of vice grips for the first turn. Other than that, it's all set. It's like new again. Now, while the carburetor was in the carb cleaner, I did a few other minor repairs to it. What I did was I replaced the fuel line going to the carburetor. After all, they get old and they get brittle, and it's like turns into hard plastic. So I replaced that. Also replaced the breather line to the carburetor. And I had some extra time, so I took off this oil reservoir here. On this bike, it's not pre-mixed. You have to fill this reservoir, and it's oil injection. So I wanted to change the oil in there because I had no clue how long it was in there for. So I drained it out, and I saw the feed of the oil coming out was very slow. So I drained it all out. I sprayed it with carb cleaner, and what I found was those little pieces of crud were stuck in the tube, not allowing good oil flow to reach the engine. So I cleaned it all out, and I replaced this line here. I also took off this banjo fitting and cleaned that out too. Once you replace it and fully drain it like that, it'll airlock this tube. So once you fill it, you have to bleed it out at this screw so the oil can run down the tube. Okay, so now we have a clean carburetor. We know we have spark. We know we have compression. I also cleaned this out, put new AMS oil in there. You always want to make sure you're using injectable oil with an injector system. The oil is a little bit thinner than a pre-mixed oil, so always go with that. Turn the fuel on. We got fresh fuel in here. Let's give her a shot. See if we can get this thing to fire up. We got it all back together. I had to make a few minor adjustments in the carburetor. Sometimes you gotta lean it out, rich it out a little bit. The best way to do it is to get the engine up to temperature, then set the idle. If you set the idle at when it's not at temperature, they'll want to bog out or rev too high when it's at temperature. Because most of the time when you're running, it's gonna be at temperature, so when you stop, it doesn't stall out on you. Runs great. Once you get it going good, hopefully it starts in one kick.